And this introduces the third phase of the spiritual crisis. The spiritual crisis at this stage begins to manifest or be the product of the charisms as they begin to arise. Like, we might begin to hear a ringing sound or a buzzing sound that's not there. You ask other people, do you hear that ringing sound? Do you hear that buzzing sound? And they go, no. And they start looking at you like, hey, you're getting kind of weird. But that ringing or buzzing sound is the charism of sound. So then, as we continue into the third phase of the spiritual crisis, and the charisms begin to arise, such as the charism of sound, there will also be the charism of feeling or tactile feeling, in which we might feel these strange tingling sensations on the body. And if we're familiar with acupuncture, we'll notice that a lot of those tingles are right on the acupuncture points, and or we might feel the connections between those points called the meridians. Let's see, the tactile sensations can include, the feeling of the acupuncture points and the meridians. Can also be the feeling of the chakras, which can be quite intense. There's even intense feelings that happen in the feet and the hands that can be quite painful, and one will think of the stigmata. Now, in my case, I had tremendous pain in my hands to the point that I couldn't use them, and they were actually in the palms of the hand, and I thought of the stigmata, but there was no blood. And I wondered if maybe the reason why blood appears in some mystics' hands is because there oftentimes is an intense itching in the palms as well, and maybe they were a little bit neurotic about that itching sensation and itched their hands so much that they had blood. Anyway, I had no blood, but I did have the intense itching and the intense pain in the palms. And eventually, that kind of sort of went away. I still have intense sensations in the hands, but it's not so painful anymore. Anyway, it continues on with all these various charisms are beginning to arise. One might be able to see auras, or at least feel one's own aura. And of course the chakras, as I mentioned, and the acupuncture meridians and acupuncture points, and then the stigmata, and I think that's all the tactile stuff. Oh yeah, and then there's kinesthetic charism, which makes one dizzy. One has a very difficult time walking without staggering, and one might have to take up a cane. And I was in my 40s when I developed the kinesthetic charism, and I refused to carry a cane, but I'm sure everybody thought I was a drunkard because I was bouncing off of everything and staggering and so forth. So let's see, and then taste. There may be, one may have intense taste sensations that are quite pleasant sometimes, and also intense smelling sensations like the smelling of roses or sandalwood. Those are the kinds of charisms that people will experience, and those can drive us crazy too, especially if we don't have a meditation teacher or a spiritual guide who's been through that and understands that those are just the charisms, and that's okay. It's actually a good thing. Okay, so that's, let's say, the third stage of the spiritual crisis.